are you?
Well, I'm fine. How are you?
I'm packing.
You're packing?
Yes.
You're coming to Las Vegas.
That's right.
I'm looking forward to it.
I have a major character defect. It's called, oh my God, packing. Like I never know when to stop. It's almost like there's a part of me that probably is saying, well, just in case anything comes up.
I think it's an affliction that hits all women.
It's ridiculous. Have you ever had your chart done before?
Not really detailed, no.
You are something.
Oh, really?
You're an incredible person with a very intense chart. Do you see yourself as being intense?
Yes.
At least you're right in there with it because, boy, first of all, having the sun in Leo is a very powerful position. It's a fixed sign, which adds to this element of stubbornness. And the stubbornness is done in a real kind of flexible way. So it's like there are times and where you get into a situation where you just dig your heels in. And there are other times, because you have the moon in Pisces, which is just so soft and gentle and flexible, that you become incredibly flexible. So you really manifest two very distinctly different types of personality traits.
That's me.
Very intense relationship stuff. You have the majority of your planets on the west side of the chart. When you have a lot of planets on the west side of the chart, that indicates that in this lifetime, it's almost as if things happen and you don't have to do a whole lot to bring them about. You come and you get into situations, you have to deal with a lot of different relationships in your life, and you have to deal with a lot of conflicting emotions about those relationships. You've got the planet Pluto and the planet Saturn in the marriage house. Those are the two most difficult planets to deal with. And as we go into that, I'm kind of going to shed some light on how that manifests for you. Okay. Aquarius is your rising sign. And now, Aquarius on the ascendant, or the rising sign, is about consciously striving to manifest in your whole process of life a sense of self-discovery and unfoldment. You start out with the ascendant when you make up a chart, and then everything else comes into view because the ascendant is the point of self-awareness. Now, the descendant is the total opposite of the chart, and that's the sign of Leo. So Aquarius is opposite of Leo, and so you have opposite character traits which operate. So now we've dissected you. We've got you into 4 sections.
I have opposite character traits.
Yes.
Is that why I'm pulled in 3 directions at one time?
You are forever pulled. It is really work for you to do decisions, to do emotions, to figure out where to put your energies. You have a really beautiful house of work, and you get a lot of bennies and a lot of strokes from work. You know how to meet people's needs in the work arena, sometimes too much. Sometimes you get like resentful, when's it my turn? And but you have you have the moon, the emotional nature. It's in the second house in Pisces. The second house is the house that rules property, and it is the house that rules money, values, and possessions. And it's how you value yourself. So emotionally, you value yourself a lot when you have the security of making money. Money and independence for you are vital to the way that you view yourself.
Oh, yeah.
It's difficult when you get up against relationship. You really have a lot of issues around control. Being terrified of letting your guard down on a real deep intimacy level, and the desire to have a sense of your own power. And yet, there's a part of you that sort of sinks in and gets sort of taken over by overdoing, giving, that Leo, real generous, loving, loyal, kind of really out there.
And I get depleted.
Oh, and sucked up. I mean, whew. It's hard for you to know where to place boundaries that work for you, because you can start out in a situation and do it full speed ahead, and then what happens for you is that's what's expected always. And you can't do that always. So here you are with this Aquarius ascendant, which is very detached. And that is, the ascendant is where you have to meet yourself. That's the place where you have to come to some personal resolution. And the descendant is what you find in others. So the descendant is Leo, and it rules the relationship house. The ascendant is Aquarius, and it rules the house of personal relationship to the self. What rises above the horizon in the chart is your point of consciousness. So this means that the qualities that you identify as you are shown by the rising sign. And it's hard for you to move into that detachment because you get so involved.
Oh, God, yes. It's something that's been my path in life, is to learn how to be detached.
Right. That's your path. That you are going in the right direction. Learning how to be detached in a loving way without being cold and shut down.
Yeah.
So the qualities you identify as not you are the qualities that are shown by the descendant, which is Leo. And Leo is the polar opposite of Aquarius. That's why it's so hard for you to even conceive of what detached means. There's a likelihood that you can draw into your life some strong Leo types. The name of the game for you is wholeness. What you do not own in yourself, you will invariably attract in other people. Meaning, when you don't own your own capacity to be detached, you will draw in relationships in your life with people who detach.
Really?
Uh-huh.
That's interesting. Yes, that's been a major complaint of mine in life.
Right. It's like, okay, I can't get my own detachment down, so, like, I'll pull you in, you'll detach, I will suffer. So you draw in on a lot of levels in your relationships. You draw in a suffering.
Mm-hmm.
And since you don't exist in a vacuum, your sense of self gets constantly reshaped by what you meet in others. So having Aquarius on the ascendant, you gain a clearer sense of your own identity only when you stand back, take an objective and an impersonal look. Now, I have to get in here and say something, because to take an objective, impersonal look for you is as close to an impossible thing. I mean, it feels like no way.
Yeah.
Because you're so involved.
I always get emotionally involved in everything.
You do life as a drama queen.
Uh-huh.
You are so dramatic. And for you, there's this heightened sense of the group. Aquarius rules the group. You need, like, group social interactions to get a sense of balance, because you go to the extreme and you don't get a place where you can check it out, where other people can kind of maybe say, wait a minute, this isn't really working. And, it's hard for you to take criticism. Very hard. You personalize it. It's like you're doing something wrong. And criticism is not really the direction I want you to go in life, like putting yourself up before the firing squad and getting criticized, but checking it out with other people. And that doesn't mean taking everything they say and doing it, and it doesn't mean ignoring everything they say. It means finding out when it hits you that sounds, It's like the ahas. When it hits you and it becomes sort of a cellular experience, your body sort of resonates with that. But by not listening to other people because you go full speed ahead into your own disaster zone, or by believing that other people have a motive, it's about finding people that don't have a motive.
Yeah.
And you've drawn people into your life that have an ulterior motive on more than one occasion. And that's why you have a lot of trust issues.
Interesting. That's my life. You got it to a T.
But see how exciting you are?
It is.
You tend to be a little bit ill at ease and like uncomfortable when you see irrational and self-centered emotions in yourself or other people.
Yeah.
Because the part of you that really wants to be noble and utopian and humanitarian, that part of you always is existing. And the shadow side for you is that Leo energy. The Aquarius is cool and objective, and Leo is always dealing with personal power and recognition. Even when, with all of your love of equality and freedom, you are often attracted to very influential people. You have a tendency to look for people because they're important, or they have power, or they have strength, and then you compete. And so for all of your lack of self-centeredness, you can easily get really caught up in this, I have to identify myself by who I'm with. And then you get, like, the worst possible case scenario for you is when someone makes you look silly.
Oh, yeah.
Whoa, that's like, don't even do that to me.
That's one of my biggest fears.
I always want to look like I got it together.
When we all know I don't.
Well, it's not about not having it together. A lot of it is about being willing, just for you, to be unconventional, to value your personal independence, to let go and allow yourself to be crazy, and, allow yourself to get into the place where you can really appreciate, just letting go. And
I tend to get a lot of unconventional people in my life.
Yeah, you definitely draw in. Aquarius is ruled by the planet Uranus, and it's all about unconventional. Everything's unconventional. So there seems to be, for you, a tremendous need to try to get approval. It's kind of like, if you approve of me, then I'm okay. And you really have this incredible chart with intense relationships issues. You have 3 planets in the sign of Leo. The desire on your part is to really shine, to really get your ego identity and be self-expressive, to be a leader, to be active and generous. And Leos are very youthful and optimistic. But in spite of your external self-assurance and dignity, you are really internally very insecure. Patience is not your strong suit.
Not at all.
So in learning discipline, even though, you have this fiery enthusiasm and this dramatic approach to life, learning discipline and just doing it in little tiny bits, is going to be really important for you.
Isn't that funny? It's a major stumbling block in my life right now. I'm trying to learn discipline, and I'm fighting it.
Right, because it's almost like they say, and even though you haven't totally and completely identified the theys, it's any authority issue is associated with discipline for you.
Even when it's myself telling me I have to do it.
Right. You don't like the part of you that tells you.
Yeah, I resent it, and I'm going through that in my work right now.
Yeah, I bet you are. It's like, for you, it's got to be my terms, my hours when I say, and, if you don't like it, I'm not going to come out and play with you.
Yeah.
But you can't be pushed. The only way that somebody's going to get what they want from you, really, is with flattery. If somebody tells you to do something, your immediate inclination is to not do it.
Yeah.
If somebody tells you how wonderful you do it, you'll do it. So you probably are going to have to start giving your unconscious mind some flattering messages so that your unconscious will allow you to discipline yourself, because you're up for lots of changes in your life.
Oh, I know.
The planets are like, ripping and pulling at all different parts of you and really bringing in a lot more exuberant energy. And it's time now. You're such a great actress, and you really have like this innate dignity. It's like, having been in positions of royalty in other lives, you really have a sense of, I deserve this.
Uh-huh.
And you do. And the thing about it is, there's still this part of you that didn't get a lot of your emotional needs met, that had a lot of confusion around trust and betrayal, that really doesn't think you do. It's kind of like the masculine energy for you is really intense to deal with. There was not a lot of feeling safe, and it wasn't okay for you to let your guard down. So, and with the moon in your chart, the moon is in the sign of Pisces. Pisces is emotional and relates to life from the instinct. The moon represents mom. The moon represents the feminine principle. It represents all levels of emotional experience. So when you have the moon in Pisces, it gives you a tremendous responsive nature. It's an indication of just how easily hurt you can be. And you put on a mask. It's like you're not even okay with being hurt.
No, I'm not.
And it's important for you to be allowing yourself a little bit more leeway to be yourself. Because there are times when you simply just don't want to face things. You're the kind of person who really loves to crawl under the covers and just hide there.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to get up.
That's what I've been doing for about 3 months.
Yeah. You're in this I don't want to do it anymore place.
Yeah.
And when you get like that in relationships, when you don't want to face facts, your relationships suffer because your feelings are so sensitive. And then you don't say, look, man, not only did you hurt me, you wounded me to the core. Instead, you start building your wall. And you push away. And the thing that you think you want the most, you start pushing away. So at times you even let your over-idealized and romanticism deceive you, and then when you see that you've been wearing rose-colored glasses, then you completely turn the other corner, say, okay, I'm not doing that anymore, and yet it's like really, you're in it by that time. You're in before you take off the glasses. You can be stubborn and fanatical and emotionally tense and personalize too many things. The tendency is to be attracted to some really unusual people. Infidelity shows up as having been an issue in your life. For you, loyalty is like a core thing, and you either get so that you betray yourself by being disloyal, or you draw in someone who's not loyal. You have, you get into these situations where you're always looking for security, and yet it seems to me like you change residence, or you make changes within your residence or something. Like there's got to be change for you, and when things are going really well and you're like moving towards success, you want to, yep, I'm going to change that because basically there's a deep feeling of I don't deserve it. Or if I get really successful and then you find out who I am, I'm going to lose everything, so I might as well not take it anyway.
That seems to be a struggle in my life all the time. I'll get just to the point where, whoa, I'm really going to take off. And I've maintained a lot of good success in my life. But when I want to go farther, it's like what I've been talking to Colleen about. I've built a business in the last 5 years, and it had moved phenomenally. But I want to double it. And it's like, now I don't want to do it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I want to do it, but I don't want to do the stuff that has to go along with it.
For you, that level of responsibility, you're always afraid you're not going to come through.
Yeah.
It's like, whoa. well, then people are going to really count on me?
Yeah.
Uh-oh, I can't do that. You are in the process of having to start taking a look there. And a lot of what goes on for you is really under the surface. The changes that come about in your life tend to be sudden. It's very difficult for other people to understand you when you say one thing and do something else. And the thing about it is people who know you probably say you are very flexible.
Yeah, they do.
And the core part of you is real stubborn. Do you know that?
Oh, yes.
Okay. Because it's where you face you that you get into so much stubbornness.
Yeah.
You are periodically, you can experience great levels of moodiness, almost kind of like a brooding. That happens to you when you're not having the kind of harmony in your life that you want. And so you try to push through it, and then you have this strong need to compensate for these deep feelings of inferiority. Dealing on some level in this lifetime with moral conflicts has shown up on more than one occasion. Somehow you get involved in emotional crises that can lead you to not feeling well. And you're at a time right now where you have to be really in touch with what's going on with you emotionally so your health doesn't suffer.
And that's exactly where I'm at right now. I've been sick for about 5 months.
Mm-hmm.
I've got that chronic fatigue syndrome.
Mm-hmm.
So it has forced me to slow down and take a look at a few things about what's important to me.
And I think that this is something that you're ready to move through.
I am, because I know there's something on the other side. It's just that I don't know what it is. I'm not sure if I'm going to like it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's like the unknown is real terrifying for you.
Uh-huh.
You can become very intolerant and have a biting sarcasm. And this is your own pain. When you are in pain, you can be very sarcastic. Do you know that?
Oh, yeah. Oh, I'm a witch on wheels.
Do you know what sarcasm, it comes from the Greek word sarkor, and it means to tear flesh.
Uh-huh.
Isn't that intense?
Oh, I can. I can be like that.
I know, because you have this dual nature. It's like easygoing and gentle, and then caustic and controlling.
Yeah.
It's like one or the other. There's a tremendous amount of psychic ability in your chart because you tend to pick up on people's energy.
Mm-hmm.
And what happens when you get into a negative environment is you really suffer. You underestimate your own potential, and that goes back to underestimating your mother and over-idealizing her, but never really seeing her clearly.
Yeah.
How do you see her now?
How do I see her now?
Mm-hmm.
Pretty much the same way I've always seen her. She's very self-centered. She's trying very hard, though. It's funny. Of course, she's getting older now, and she's been sick, but I've been working at trying to establish some kind of a relationship with her. But I don't trust her. I wouldn't tell her anything because she'd tear me apart if I did.
You don't. She has been such a hard.
She's a nemesis in my life.
Right. She is. She shows up all over the place in this chart.
Really?
I mean, it's like this mommy didn't know how to be a mommy.
No, she didn't.
She put her needs first all the time, and then accused you of being selfish.
Yeah.
And
kind of where we're at right now is that my business is relatively successful, and what's coming across to me is that I owe them now because they're old.
Mm-hmm.
And so there's a lot of resentment going on right now. But we're trying. I mean, I've had a really good conversation with her. Well, it wasn't good for her, but it was good for me.
Mm-hmm.
Was that I just told her, you never listen to anybody, so why does anybody want to talk to you?
Uh-huh.
She's making a little bit of an effort to listen, but she doesn't listen a lot. So
right.
We've kind of pulled apart. I've kind of stayed around for, a long time because I felt she needed somebody or whatever, but it's just come to the point in the last 4 or 5 years, it's like you live your life and I'll live mine.
Mm-hmm.
And that's kind of where we're at. I don't share anything with her because she if it doesn't...
Well, it'll come back on you.
You what?
It'll come back on you.
It always does. I mean, I had her working for me last year, and it was devastating.
Oh, God, that would have been awful.
It was awful. I wound up at a psychiatrist on that one. I went to a hypnotist.
Oh, God, that would have been so awful.
Anytime my family gets involved in something in my life, it gets real screwed up. And it takes me months to get out of it. You know, and then I feel guilty and all this, but I'm finally learning to detach from it wasn't my doing, that it really has nothing to do with me. I mean, a part of me tells me that most of the time, but when things don't go well, of course, then I tell myself, oh, maybe they're right, you know. But that's kind of our relationship. It's there's a lot of resentment and a lot of, you know, where I would like to share stuff with her, but I won't because I know she'll tear it apart.
Well, then there's still this little girl in you that wants Mommy to be there.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the part of you that keeps going back. And then the adult goes, what are you doing?
Yeah.
You know you can't come here.
Yeah.
You're never going to get your needs met there. You got to find the mommy inside of you, and you've also got to stop putting other women on pedestals so you can tear them down.
Yeah.
Because it's all about trying to find the ideal mommy in the outside world. And then when they do anything at all that is close to humanness, you say, I knew it. That's it. You're out of here.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what you do to yourself.
Well, I worked real hard at making better relationships with women because for years I wouldn't have that many good friends as women. They were all men.
Right, because you were terrified that they weren't going to be trustworthy like Mom.
Yeah. And yet the men in my life have not been trustworthy either.
Oh, God. Oh, God.
Saying, what is it about me that's creating this?
Oh, God. Well, first of all, it's not your all. I look at the whole thing as you came into this lifetime with this package and you elected these parents because you had stuff to work out with them. And growing up in your house wasn't easy.
No.
And there was a lot of issues there. And you got
so much I don't remember.
You are real blocked. You are real blocked. And, you know, hopefully during this process, and you are doing the workshop, right?
Oh, yeah.
Well, hopefully we might be able to tap into some of that because there's so many places where you keep going after things that don't serve you and don't benefit you. And you're always afraid that at the ultimate end result's going to be failure. And here you are, you can't be in a better place business-wise. You have to know that. You have shrewd business sense. You see what other people want, and you can present that to them. You are capable of changing other people's values. There are many changes. There have been many changes in your financial standing in life. And you go through these times where it's almost like you set yourself up and sabotage yourself.
Uh-huh.
But gains come through your powerful contacts with women. Money and material possessions are very important to your emotional security. And you it's like you can find things that people would really like, and, you know, you can give them those things.
Must be why I'm good at real estate, because I can find stuff that no one...
Oh, no wonder, because you have the moon in the property house.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so you do really well in real estate.
Because I know that when I came to work in real estate, I felt like I've really found my niche. Now, I have it in the last 4 or 5, 6 months. It's kind of like I don't want to be bothered, you know. But
well, you're emotionally extremely overwhelmed. The way the planets have been affecting you, it's like kind of like digging into your psyche and say, come on, let's go. It's time. Take a look. In this lifetime for you, relationships are an arena of transformation. In order to be whole, you have to go through a process of working through hurts and resentment about each relationship, beginning with Mom and Dad, the primary relationship people. You'll need to get clear about what happened to you, and you'll need to look at it realistically in order to heal.
Well, you know, when I'm able to do that, and I've done a lot of work in that area, it's beneficial. I mean, it's not that it scares me.
Right.
I just would like to find out what it is so that I can work with it and move past it. I seem to go to the same spot in my life all the time. It's like going to the Wailing Wall in Jerusalem, you know. It's like I never get past it.
Mm-hmm. Where is that? Where do you go to?
Numbness.
Oh, yeah.
I almost get to the point where it's at, and it's kind of where I'm at right now. It's like I know I need to work with this, but I'll get to the spot, and then I'll just kind of like go numb.
Okay, well, that's very, very typical of some trauma. Now, you've got to remember, when I say the word trauma, what's traumatizing to a child is a lot of things. Kids, I have an 8-year-old daughter who's just a blessing to me because, this kid can suffer over, things that, I can look at her in a way and she'll say, do you know what that feels like? And the thing is, I'm raising her where she's got a lot of rights and she's got a lot of expression, and I let her talk, and I let her, she does anger work, and I let her get to her issues. But if I didn't allow that...
Oh, I was never allowed that.
I know.
I tried that. I tried doing that with my children, and it worked pretty good. I have a son who when I step on his toes, he tells me, ouch, and I say, I'm sorry. But that was not allowed at my house. There was only one way, and that was it.
Right. And if you mess with them, boo. I know. And so you had to block a lot of things. And it was easier to block it than to deal with it because there was no way to process it.
Couldn't. Yeah, there was no way to process it.
The way the planets are moving now are supporting change for you. Your old beliefs are being challenged, and you're readying yourself to accommodate to new ideas.
Right.
Communication in general has become an issue, almost as if the person who always wanted to speak out and talk doesn't want to even talk anymore.
Yeah.
And this is kind of scary for you because you do your business because of your personality. And so now your closest contacts, even though they may be speaking about the unspeakable at times, your defenses get real strong. People in your life, the people that you're drawing into your life, are starting to look at things differently. And that's scary for you.
I wonder if it's why what I've been going through in my business and just life in general, in the last 6 months, I don't want to return phone calls. I don't want to follow up on stuff. It's like, leave me alone, don't call me. And that is so unlike me.
You're, by the way, depressed.
Yeah,
You're depressed. And see, because you don't do depression, doesn't even fit into your, category of things that could be wrong.
One of my best friends is being treated for depression right now.
Well, she does depression differently than you.
Yeah.
You do depression in an aggressive fashion. But right now you want to hide out. You've got a lot of anger that you're turning on yourself because you were actually taught that you have to suffer, not your parents.
Oh, yeah.
That your parents really didn't do a lot of good parenting. Yeah. Guilt was used as a tool of manipulation and control. You were constantly wondering what was really going on between these two people.
Yeah.
And it was, there was always a feeling like you had to tiptoe around, like you couldn't really ever be yourself.
Oh, no.
So
I was a different person every day. Just whatever fitted the need.
Right. Do you have a sibling?
I have a brother. I have a brother who has not been involved in my life for almost 20 years and all of a sudden is again.
Because I was just going to tell you, it looks like you have a sibling relationship that's had great karmic importance and that where there was a lot of abandonment.
Oh, that was been the issue with him for years for me. He just kind of we were extremely close as children, and because of everything in the family, he just walked off.
Right, but he abandoned you, too.
Oh, yeah, he abandoned me. I idolized him as a child.
Right.
Absolutely idolized him.
This relationship got so much juice to it, meaning that there's emotion here, because it looks like he's coming back.
Yeah, he is. He's back. He lived with me for 5 months when him and his wife were separated. And,
oh, he did?
Yeah, and we're just... I've been working on that relationship for almost 5 years, trying to get it back in my life. And have been shut down and had doors closed. And finally one day he just showed up, and his wife and him were separating, and I had him stay with me. And we didn't get below the surface on too much, but we reestablished the relationship.
Right.
To where I figured, with my tendency of wanting everything now, why not just take it at an easy pace, so it doesn't scare him, because, he's abandoned the entire family.
He has really suffered growing up in that household.
Oh, tremendously. I remember as a child that I used to take spankings for him and get in trouble for him because I knew that it would devastate him.
How old is he?
He's 2 years older than me, but I always kind of emotionally took care of him.
Well, see, the thing about it is, you were the one in the family who was the scapegoat.
Yeah.
You were the one that when when you needed to distract the family away from their conflict or conflict with him, you would get in trouble.
Oh, yeah.
You would get sick. Things like that would happen. You were the one who took the heat.
Yeah.
And you see, the thing that's real deep here is that you resent him for leaving you, and he really saw you as the favored one.
Isn't that funny? Because all the years we were growing up, he was the fair-haired golden boy.
He was the favorite, but he didn't see it.
Yeah.
And he wasn't really, it wasn't like, these two people, I don't mean to be crude or anything, but were so self-centered.
Oh, my family's parents were extremely self-centered.
That, it's not like either one of you got what you needed.
No. We were the only two friends we had as children growing up.
Yeah.
He was my best friend growing up, and we used to share a lot of things together. And then, 14, 15 years old, he just mentally and emotionally checked out of the family.
Mm-hmm.
And then at 18, he left. So,
well, you're going to be, what is showing up really strong here is that this relationship is so important and it needs resolution. Old patterns of relating and issues from the past must be resolved with him. Speaking to him from like your higher self, almost saying, just coming to a place where you're ready to speak what's in your heart, not what's in your head. And a lot of it, maybe you might need to just start journaling, trying to facilitate kind of an emotional catharsis as a healing tool. For you're given now a major chance to heal and to heal your emotional blocks, whatever they may be. And his coming back, you two might be able to compare notes. You'll be confronting and breaking down barriers, issues around power, control, trust, isolation. All of these will be major concerns for right now. It's coming to a time where you will have to push really hard to solve these problems. This isn't just easy stuff.
yeah.
It is important for you to acknowledge your feelings. Being honest with yourself is the core issue here. For a high degree of self-awareness is going to be needed. Conflicts need not to get out of hand or mean the end of a relationship. It's better to speak up sooner before you get really angry in any area and speak from I feel instead of you did.
Yeah.
Karmically, you are learning lessons of equality and listening. You'll need to learn how to assimilate what another person's reality is, because their reality is their reality, and it may not be what is yours. You've been learning how to give in relation to what others expect of you, and now you need to learn how to give because you want the relationship. With these lessons, you are learning how to participate in life, and for the first time, you need to learn how to participate as an equal. You have to learn how to be available. You have some highly significant karmic relationships. The seventh house is traditionally the house of marriage and the marriage partner. But it is also, this is so interesting, the house of open enemies. I love that.
Like my marriages.
I just love that. It's like, oh my God.
That sounds like my marriages. It was like warfare.
Oh, the power struggles. Everything in your life comes down to a power struggle.
Mm-hmm.
The characteristics which you value in others and which you look for in a partner are there. You look for someone who's powerful, and then you hate their power. Or you look for someone who you can control, and then you hate their weakness.
Both my marriages were like that. Mr. Weak was the first one. Mr. Powerful was the second one.
Right. You figure I'll go to the extreme now.
Oh, yeah.
Right? So it's almost like you find out one day that you're living with the enemy.
Yeah.
And you need to take a look at this part for you because you seek in others what you are not able to express yourself. You hate in others what you are not able to express yourself. The perfect match is about being able to look at your own shadow side. because there's nobody who's going to create inner wholeness for you. You've had a high degree of pain, isolation, and rejection in relationships. You've had to be challenged to grow and examine yourself. Very often you've tried to wiggle out of the hot seat, and you've looked at, well, the right man has just never come along. And what happens is you find some flaw in the partner that becomes like the root of the trouble. Saturn is in your marriage house too. So wherever Saturn is, there's fear. And what it really is going on for you is that you are unconsciously obstructing relationships because
I do. I mean, it's open. I just don't get into them anymore.
Well, it's this fear of getting too deeply involved.
Yeah.
Becoming afraid at the degree of commitment any relationship in your life requires. Any. Doesn't matter. If I'm going to be your friend, what are you going to want from me? That's under there all the time.
Yeah.
And you are terrified of becoming too dependent on someone. You dread and you half expect to be hurt. You are at a place now where you're saying, I just can't risk the vulnerability of true intimacy. For you as a little child, and I'm guessing here that, well, if I look at it, I'm talking 4 or 5. You opened up to a parent and you experienced tremendous hurt and rejection. So you still anticipate being unlovable and unacceptable.
Isn't that funny? Because I have very, very few, what I want to say, emotional memories past the age of about 4 or 5.
You shut down then. Yeah. You like left. Your parents' marriage left a mark of unhappiness on you. And these people are still married, aren't they?
No, they're my mother's married to another man that's an absolute idiot. My father died 5 years ago.
How was that relationship?
With my father?
Yeah.
It was funny. I had gone back, because I hadn't talked to him for almost 2 years prior to him dying. And I had done some personal growth seminars and work and decided, okay, I need to start cleaning up relationships. So he's the first one that I went after. And we ended the relationship very well, I think. I mean, I was with him when he died. And I think we ended it, we cleaned up a lot. We cleaned up a lot in that relationship, and I did a lot of mental work with him while he was in a coma. And it was really funny because most people would think I was stark raving mad if I told them the story, but I'm sure you won't. I remember when I was sitting in his room when he was dying, and I was thinking to myself, just thinking, and he was unconscious, you silly son of a gun, you'll check out and not say goodbye to anybody, just like you always do. And that was the last thing he did before he died.
He said goodbye?
He sat up in bed and looked at me and said, honey, goodbye. And then died.
Oh.
Yeah.
What a profound experience.
Yeah, it really was. It really was. I mean, I feel very clean with that relationship in the sense, and he was the person that I learned, when he had good times, he had great times. He's the person that I learned any type of warmth or affection or fun. He had that little boy side of him that was wonderful.
He was kind of, I don't know if you're aware of it, but he had a manic personality.
Oh, yeah.
And, you always expect that if you're having a lot of fun, it's going to be taken away.
Oh, yeah.
Because that's what it was like with him.
Yeah.
In other words, he could be like, yippee, and then completely disappear.
Then he would go for months and not talk to anybody in the house.
Right.
He'd live in the same house and not talk to anybody.
So it's kind of like picture yourself as a 4-year-old child. And, having somebody cuddle you and love you and hold you and play with you and then completely abandon you.
Oh, yeah. That was the norm in my household.
Right.
It was the norm. I mean, one day you could come home and you were wonderful, and one day you'd come home and the whole world were terrible.
And the thing about it, and the thing that's real important is, what I want you to recognize here is, you cleaned up your adult relationship with your father. Now you got to clean up your child relationship with him.
Yeah.
Because that little girl still thinks fun is always going to end, joy is just very temporary, and that you obviously are really a bad person because you couldn't make it better.
You know, and that's kind of where I'm at right now. It's like, and it's because I equate so much to my work, because that's the relationship I have is with my work. And it isn't fun anymore. It used to be a lot of fun.
Right.
So I need to start having that kind of fun again so that I can enjoy what I'm doing, because I'm not enjoying what I'm doing.
Well, psychologically, your entire past is coming up to haunt you, and it's like you can't move away from it far enough because it's in your psyche.
Yeah.
It's not like you can go, okay, well, I know da-da-da-da, but, you know, it's going to go. It doesn't. It doesn't go away. And, you know, there's a part of you that not having a fulfilling relationship with yourself.
I haven't, and it just like ended all of a sudden. I was having the time of my life in the last 4 years, just really enjoying myself, changing my career, finding new friends, and then all of a sudden, when I decided I wanted to grow, it came to a screeching halt. It became work.
There was no possibility of you getting through this time without feeling this way.
Really?
Yeah. The way the planets are sitting on you right now, it's all about, like, you have to go down to the pit in order to realize that something really has to change. Everything that you've repressed in your psyche from really, I would say kindergarten, is still in there repressed. Now, do you realize the amount of energy it takes to keep a handle on that?
Oh. I think that's why I'm so fanatical about wanting to get through it.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, I'm actually, and I'm sure that that's what my body is telling me, why my immune system's all screwed up.
Right.
Is that it's tired. And that's what I'm experiencing.
Right.
All I want to do these days is sleep.
And the reason that you're experiencing the kind of illness that you're experiencing is because it's emotional and psychological. Chronic syndrome is definitely about repression. It's all about the body's just too doggone exhausted.
Yeah.
And the other part of that is that when you have spent so much time repressing emotional stuff that's in your history, it's very, very hard for you to have full and complete joy and light. Because too much energy has to go into repressing.
Yeah.
So now the struggle is working on these wounds before you. I mean, it's like you are in this process now of having to say yes to life.
You know, yeah, and it's like I'm almost saying, well, I'm not too sure if that's what I want to do.
I know.
And yet, I'm very much in life.
You're doing it, but it's not like you're real comfortable with it.
Yeah, it's like a shoe that doesn't fit.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I need to get a different size. And that's just almost the way I can equate it. I need to get a different size shoes. I think I need bigger shoes.
You need to look at your own shadow side. You need to, you know, you've always felt passionately and intensely about everything. You've always had this frame of reference that, you know, you were tough and you could get through anything. But you need to look a little bit more at that darker side. Neptune is a planet of illusion and delusion on the one hand and spirituality on the other hand. Neptune is placed in the 8th house of sex and intimacy and death and the money and how you share money. When you have Neptune there, there's a lot of pressing psychological concerns because sex and money have a lot of issue for you. Sex is a way for you to merge with another person, and yet there's a part of you that even when you're in relationship with somebody, you often leave in your head and think of something else. So it's like you don't do the relationship with the person you're with. You know, it's like, oh, I remember this was better so-and-so. You know, so sex, you know, at times, if you let your guard down, for you it was kind of like a worship. Like you could get into this place that where you actually idealize someone. And then you realize, oh, I got to stop that. And so physical intimacy is a place where you would put up a lot of barriers. You used it sometimes to kind of like as a respite for your loneliness, almost like a healing. But really, more often, you use it as a convenient way of escaping. The fear of letting go is so profound. There's like this tension between holding on to your boundaries and losing them, so you have to make them really big. There were times when you felt like you were being sacrificed in a sexual relationship, like you were desiring somebody who wasn't desiring you, or you were desiring and fantasizing about others rather than the person that you were with. You had a hard time being content with what you had in relationship, always worried that it wasn't going to stay, so why invest too much?
I tend to get bored real quick.
Yep, like I'm out of here now.
Yeah.
Love is very much an arena of past karma with you. On some level, you always equate love with control. For you, love equals control in childhood. And unless you submitted to mom's power, and unless you moved away and kept yourself separate from dad, you were always really afraid of the threat of his withdrawal. And then in the meantime, mom wasn't there with love and approval during that. So you had to make yourself somehow indispensable in this family. You've been taking care of them for a long time.
Oh, forever. I don't anymore, and that's been a lot of conflict in the family. I just put my foot down about 5 years ago and just said, here I am, and this is what I am, and this is what I'm doing, and I don't care if you approve or not.
Yeah.
You know? So they have emotionally what little bit of connection we had. I guess if you want to use the word abandon, yes, they have. I mean, they've blamed, they've pointed fingers, but I'm holding steadfast on it.
Well, you know what? The bottom line is, it doesn't feel any better to help them.
No, because
it doesn't give you anything.
They absolutely suck you in and then take over your whole life. It's like my mother who comes in my house and takes over everything.
Right.
You know, I finally tell her at holiday dinners now, sit down and I will take care of stuff. Or she'll go to the other extreme, like this particular holiday I was sick. And I called and said, I can't do this by myself, I need some help. And she never showed up to help. So they use that stuff, you know.
Oh, God, talk about a manipulator.
Oh, terrible, terrible manipulator.
And yet it seems like she bound you really tightly, and that dad betrayed your trust. Mm-hmm. She comes through as the dominant parent in ways of manipulation.
Yeah, she was always the victim in the relationship,
right.
but she controlled it that way.
Queen martyr.
Oh, absolutely, and I'm sure I'm probably following right in her footsteps.
Well, one day you wake up and you see mom in you.
Oh, yeah.
And that's when you really say, okay, I got to get to work.
Yeah.
I'm not going to do mom. And dad has played like a shadow figure. Mm-hmm. Mom had this dominating energy. She was very controlling from her victim stance. And dad was either not there at all or almost seductive in a way.
Yeah.
Did you ever notice that?
Oh, yeah.
This was really confusing to a little girl.
I mean, there used to be, I won't say arguments. I couldn't tell you that I can remember an argument, but I can remember the subjective stuff that used to go on, where my mother would get jealous if my father spent too much time with me.
Right. You were in competition with her.
Yeah. Oh, and life has been a competition with my mother, down to the point where if I buy a coffee pot, she's got to buy a better one.
Mm-hmm.
She can't do that anymore because financially she can't keep up with me. So it's been a real conflict.
Oh, so she's like you've outshone her.
Oh, yeah.
Your relationship with Dad has threatened your ability to form intimate relationships. And your relationship with Mom has threatened your ability to get close to women.
Yeah.
So another dynamic for you is that relationships and transformation are mixed together. Sometimes you fall in love in order to make someone over, like to change them. And this eventually could lead to the resentment of, and the relationship never really feels equal. And so, it would be like you never got on equal footing with any man.
Yeah.
For you, very often physical intimacy in and of itself didn't ever really happen. Because if you knew a person too well, then their magnetism was gone, and then you wanted to get out. Some strange complications and deceptive circumstances might have affected joint finances, like you could get deceived by other people's values, possibly at times going through periods of being envious of what others own. In the end, you achieve great satisfaction from making it on your own, and then you get real tired.
Yeah, and that's where I'm at right now.
Yeah. You need to take care in the area of business and the selection of business partners, because sometimes signing contracts there's confusion, and you always need to clarify exactly what the agreement is. Economic losses and gains have been an important psychological impact for you. Always get advice from other people before making your own investments. You have the potential to receive guidance and inspiration from out of nowhere. You are open to valuable instruction through your dreams, and these can serve as a source of comfort and inspiration. But you've been blocking your dreams.
I don't remember dreams.
Right.
Now, I have been in the last few weeks just kind of concentrating on it, meditating on it, doing a little bit of prayer with it before I go to bed on remembering dreams. And I've been having them. They've been stupid.
Like what?
Well, I've been having some funny dreams. Just the only one that I can remember, and I don't remember it vividly, was somebody was taking something from me and burying it. And then he was threatening myself and my family and all this. And that's the only thing I can remember.
Well, that's really interesting.
Yeah. It was somebody, and it wasn't in the town where I'm at. And I don't know if it was money. I think it was money, but they were taking money and they were hiding it. It was a very violent dream. It was icky. I mean, I woke up, this guy was like killing us, and then I was trying to kill him. And I thought, oh, if that's what I've been missing by not remembering dreams, maybe I shouldn't remember them.
Okay, so there's something that, because it's buried deeply, is actually killing you. That's what that dream is telling you.
Yeah. And it was buried. I was trying to dig it up, and he kept trying to bury it.
So it's something that has to do with male energy in your life.
Yeah.
And something that you need to find out about, something that has to do with the male energy.
Yeah.
And the more you try to dig it up, the more, he kept terrifying.
He kept moving it. That's what I remember. He kept moving it in my dream. I would find where it was, and he would move it and bury it somewhere else.
Very interesting.
And I kept following him all over this town, trying to find where he got it. And then I finally found it, and he tried to kill me. Stupid dream. But I knew it had some significance.
But it has a lot of significance. Okay, what other dreams have you had?
That's the only one I can remember. The other ones have just been stuff. It's like when I wake up. Hold on a second. What I've been doing, and I'm normally a pretty positive person, but what I've been doing, I noticed it this morning when I woke up. The dialogue in my head is all the stuff I'm not doing. Rather than, this is a beautiful day, let's see what can happen to me today, I wake up with the conversation of everything that's wrong with me.
Yeah, you're definitely not in your highest self-esteem.
Oh, no.
And a lot of what you're exhausted from trying to continue to repress all this stuff. You're exhausted. You don't have your body is just burnt out on trying to keep everything down. It's not conscious. It's an unconscious repression. It doesn't have anything to do with wishing that you didn't remember it. You want to remember it, and so the battle is going on.
Yeah.
There's a real lot of sometimes you actually can entertain these real self-destructive fantasies, and probably a lot of that comes through in the dream state, and so that's why you don't remember it.
Yeah, because when I go to sleep, Mary, I just leave. I'm gone. I don't know where I am in the universe, but I am gone. And for years now, I haven't done this in almost 15 years, but for years, the only dreaming that I ever used to remember was of me flying. And then, but now when I just go to sleep, I'm checked out. I'm gone somewhere, and I'm not always rested when I wake up.
No, because you're really doing a lot of battle in that unconscious.
Yeah.
Have you ever drawn in an alcoholic or an addict?
Both of my parents are alcoholics.
I was going to say.
My father's a gambler and an alcoholic. My mother's an alcoholic. My daughter's an alcoholic and drug addict. She's recovering now. And I married one. My second husband was an alcoholic. My first husband was in a family of alcoholics. He didn't drink. So, yeah, alcoholism is throughout my entire
It's
life.
everywhere.
Everywhere. Absolutely everywhere.
There's a lot of emotional intensity and insecurity because you grew up in a household where nothing was defined. Nobody talked about anything.
Oh, yeah. It's a secret.
Everything was havoc. It wasn't okay to bring people over. It was never, you could never count on anything being consistent. And so you have had this desire to try to make life consistent, and then you ended up marrying the same thing that you ran from. A part of you really needs to kind of understand the more primitive side of your nature. You have many lessons to learn around surrender and humility, along with your own power to achieve this. You came into this life having known great authority in past lives. And so there's this deep need for some recognition. And you've always had to draw in people that you were ashamed of. You grew up with a lot of shame, and you carry a lot of your mother's shame.
Yeah.
So for you, a close relationship has not really meant like happily ever after. It's like you enter the underworld in relationships, and relationships plunge you into your deeper emotional complexes that lurk in your psyche. All of this goes back to your early childhood, and many of your relationships are repeats of parental issues. Relationships are real messy for you, and if you don't get in touch with your own shadow side, you project these qualities onto your partner. So as hard as that is, it is very important for you to acknowledge your own potential for ruthlessness, for betrayal, for jealousy, for envy, and for possessiveness, those qualities you hate in your mother. Otherwise, you'll just continue to attract those traits in others. The nature of your life is towards wholeness. If you're not living that wholeness, then the outside brings it in for you. And so it's so hard for you to trust that you don't trust your own judgment.
And that's when I always get in trouble, is when I don't trust my own judgment.
Right. Your instincts are phenomenal. And what happens is when you get afraid, you try to dominate and control. Because that means that you really experience this sense of being out of control inside.
Probably why I've never drank or done drugs, because it puts me out of control.
Yeah, I mean, forget about it. You need to be in control. What happens is that you are, the things that you are afraid of, you tend to bring into your life.
I believe that.
It's kind of like for you, it's like who was it that said the deity which brings the illness is also the one that brings the cure? Mm-hmm. There's always issues of power that show up in relationships. Sometimes you give all your power away. You give your power to another, as if you want to be swallowed up by the relationship.
Well, I tend to do that when I get in a relationship, and then I rearrange my life, and then I get resentful.
Right.
And it's probably why I've chosen in the last 10 years not to be in a relationship, or, I've had men in my life, but not to be in a relationship with one, because I don't want to do that again.
Right. And the thing about it is, if you do the work, you won't ever have to do that again. See, because when you don't, when you give up yourself in a relationship, then you come to this place where you say, I'm not safe unless I'm in charge. I mean, I put myself in his hands and he's an idiot. Yeah. So the balance of power has been unevenly shared, and there's never been like a true mutuality where and this is what still needs to be learned. Because sooner or later, when you have a relationship that's off balance, one or the other partner needs to break free in order to grow. Right. And in many cases, people who have Pluto in the 7th house have difficulty eliminating or letting go of relationship. They have this kind of loyalty, and they stay long past when they should have left.
Oh, I did with my second husband. I knew for 6 months I made a big, big mistake.
Was he unfaithful?
Oh, yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. With everybody and everything.
Right. I mean, the pain for you. Ooh. Yeah.
And I stayed because I guess that's what you were taught to do. You work it out. And more and more of me, kept going away, and until one day I just woke up and said, wait a minute, But when I look at it in retrospect, for me, it was a good lesson because I wouldn't be where I'm at now. I mean, because what I said when I left that relationship was, it's not him, it's me. It's how I'm showing up and I'm causing it, not causing it, but I'm creating this. I'm bringing this in my life.
Well, we constantly go to situations that we need resolution with.
Mm-hmm.
And you need resolution with the male issues, and you need resolutions with the female issues. And, for you, relationships are like this whole breaking down process. And, you need to learn how to be an individual in all of your relationships. Because for you, relationships that you've been in, they like get these little mini deaths, and then they have a rebirth, and it's kind of like the endings were so hard. You, though, have the ability to help other people through painful times of crisis and transition.
Oh yeah, that's kind of my calling in life.
All right. Conflict between will and desire in your life is creating strain right now. You're unsure of your own capabilities. You have not learned how to handle your anger and resentment in a way that serves you. You need to show your dependability so others will see it. You need to try to work on now affirming your own ego. This way you can attract the people you want. A lot of times the people who know you want you to prove your love for them. And, health problems come as a result of turning all your pain and anger inside. This is a time where you will be learning to evaluate what's important and what's necessary. When you get into this place of feeling like you're bad, just recognize that all you're doing is acting out what you were taught, and that has seriously affected your self-confidence, and now you need to change the patterns around those behaviors. You have a lot of energy. You are certainly getting a lot of potential to grow wiser and more tolerant. You have a very deep side to you, and you have a tremendous access to some inner wisdom. I'd like you to start writing your dreams down. I don't care what. Actually, if you can get a voice-activated tape recorder, put it right next to the bed. And, just as you're coming out of that sleep state, talking to it. Even if you say, I don't have a dream, but I'm feeling da-da-da. I'm feeling like, I didn't do enough. I'm feeling this. I'm feeling that. Trying to get a connection to what is going on some real deep levels. It was never okay for you to be yourself. And here you are, and you're not in relationship, and your business is successful. Your daughter is clean and sober. Life has a lot now.
Yeah, I feel like the way I feel now is like maybe there's something wrong with me now because I've got everything I set out to do 5 years ago, was to clean my relationship up with my father, with my brother, have my daughter straight, have my son. Well, of course, my son's always been a good kid. And it's like God just gave me everything I wanted. And it's like, okay, well, now why aren't I?
Now you got to get you.
Yeah.
Now you got to get you. You got all the external stuff, but internally, you haven't even gotten to know you yet. I mean, you haven't become in touch with who you really are at the core.
Well, and and I think about that sometimes, and I think, well, I'm just what everybody expects me to be.
Whoever it is at any given time.
Yeah.
Whatever they want.
Instead of, and I think that's a lot of what's going on for me right now is why I've just decided to just hide out. It's like I don't want to be what you want me to be anymore.
And I want to be me.
But I'd like to find out who me is.
Right. That's it. That's the issue.
That's what I told Colleen when I was answering the questionnaire for the class. It's like, I'm answering a lot of these questions. I don't remember a lot of this stuff. I said, what was I, an axe murderer when I was 4?
Funny you should go back to that 4 years old, because that's so strong in here. And yet,
it's the time that I quit remembering things.
right.
I mean, emotional things. I can give you instances of things that we did, and I can look at pictures, and I can remember, but emotionally I couldn't remember anything.
Mm-hmm.
Anything. I couldn't tell you what I got for Christmas when I was 7.
Well, what I see is that you manifest a lot of ACOA issues, adult child of alcoholic syndrome.
Oh, yeah, I've done a lot of reading and studying on those.
You have a narrow range of emotional experience. You have a feeling of going numb when you are faced with your past or talking about it. You have a poor memory, almost no recall of many, many years of your life in terms of what emotionally it was like.
I don't remember what my first day at school was. I remember that I really loved my kindergarten teacher, and I remember stuff we did, but I don't remember what my first day of school was like at all. Because that was one of the questions on your thing.
Right, because that's very important.
I don't remember. I don't remember going to school my first day, but I remember very vividly stuff that we did in school.
Mm-hmm.
I enjoyed learning, and I enjoyed the chickens that we raised from eggs and stuff like that. But I don't remember my first day at school at all.
And do you ever notice that your attention span is not that great sometimes?
Yeah, it tends to drift, but although when I'm focused on something, I can be so focused on it that I see nothing else.
Right.
And that's
almost
for me,
obsessively.
yeah, that's what gets me where I want to go, is
right.
when I get focused on something, get out of my way because I'm going to have it.
Do you ever notice you're thinking, feeling confused?
Thinking, feeling confused.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
In other words, when you think that, when you're in the process of thinking, you get the sense of confusion, and then like a feeling comes up, and you're real confused about how to name that feeling.
Well, I go into confusion when things start happening a lot for me.
Mm-hmm.
I'll go into confusion. That's kind of my game or the act that I play. Is I go into confusion.
Mm-hmm. And it's not a game. It's very real for you. How about feeling hopeless and helpless?
Oh, yeah. That's commonplace for me.
Okay. Do you ever have intense feelings at inappropriate times? Almost like, intense grief, anger, or sadness that gets triggered by a movie, a TV show, or something?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. I can go for weeks on one of those.
And do you notice that when you and I were talking about the fact that your father went into acute depression and complete withdrawal, that you talked about it like it had happened to somebody else?
Well, that's kind of like my whole life. It's kind of like I look at my life like I'm looking at a movie.
Mm-hmm.
It's like it really wasn't me. It was someone else.
Do you want to know something?
Yeah.
You have all the symptoms of chronic shock.
Chronic shock.
Chronic shock. In other words, chronic shock comes about. That's what I do a lot of work on, because chronic shock comes from growing up in a real dysfunctional family setting, where you are growing up around alcoholism, chronic depression, so that you go numb. You experience a lot of shame and guilt. The alcoholic family system, Joanne, is based on shame and guilt. The family uses shame and guilt to enforce the family rules. It's going to be important for you to acknowledge and talk about anything that triggers shame and guilt for you. And when you start letting some of that out, other painful memories will start to come up. Painful memories come about as a direct result of the behavior of alcoholic and alcoholic families.
Yeah.
So what you are looking at now is it's time for recovery from that.
I think I've been on that road for 5 or 6 years now.
And now you're going to another level.
Yeah.
You're going to the core level, the core issues, where what happens is the underlying emotional state of fear continues to be present. It keeps you from dreaming. And right now, it's like crippling. like afraid that you're never going to have your energy back?
Yeah, I did. I'll tell you, that has been something that's really bothered me because I have a lot of energy. I mean, I can run circles around 10 people.
Oh, you're amazing.
It's humiliating for me to be, you know, and it just goes back to the same old stuff. As we're talking, I'm sitting here thinking, well, God, if I found out what I was really at the core, maybe I won't like it.
Guaranteed. I guarantee that you're going to love it. You know, you have a wonderful chart with a ton of power, a tremendous amount of optimism, a lot of enthusiasm. There's a lot of light. And I don't think that you have ever, you know it intellectually.
Yeah.
You don't know it inside.
I came here for something, you know, and I've always known that. That's probably why I've stayed on the path.
You could be a cheerleader for anybody. Have you ever noticed that?
Oh, yeah.
You know, I mean, somebody can be like in the greatest despair, and you are an incredible
I'm a teacher,
cheerleader.
You know, born to teach.
Mm-hmm. The emotional characteristics of chronic shock are fear, anger, hurt, resentment, distrust, loneliness, sadness, shame, guilt, going numb. Thinking in black and white thinking, operating from a lack of information a lot of times, compulsive thinking, confused thinking, indecision, having trouble reading, having trouble retaining, hypervigilance. A lot of where it attacks your body when you are having chronic shock episode is the immune system, tense shoulders, lower back pain, gastrointestinal disorders,
you got them all.
stress-related behaviors, allergies. A lot of the behavioral characteristics of coming right up to chronic shock is feeling like you've hit a crisis in your life, afraid of being a manipulator, intimacy problems, feeling like you can no longer have any fun, compulsive addictive disorders, the feeling of acute depression unnamed, like why you are, I don't know why. Everything is good. You know why everything is good and you feel the way you feel?
Why?
Because now that everything's good, you got a chance to take a look. Now that everything is good, you got a chance to take a look. You got some safety. You can do this. You know, the kids are raised. There's a lot of things in life now that you know that you're a great real estate agent. You know that. You don't have to prove that anymore. So now is a chance where you can really take a look. You know, being the family scapegoat, you were constantly having to divert the attention of the away from your brother. You know, you were willing to take all of the flack for everything.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, he was supposed to be the family hero, but nobody told him how to do that.
Yeah. He still struggles with that, but he's getting better at it.
So, you know, a lot of the things that are happening for you are, you know, there are times in your life where you can push right through this stuff. You do it in a real numb place, but you can still push right through it. And you're just at a place now, all of it has come. It's like you can't just know it intellectually. What I see a lot with my clients is that they say, I know this happened, I know that. And the whole process is a process of completely changing the body chemistry. And how you change the body chemistry, the first thing is awareness. You have that. The desire to change, you've got that. Now we have to find you a safe place to experience these repressed emotions. You have to go back to the trauma. You have to feel the emotions that you've shut down completely. All the emotions that were repressed at the time of the trauma.
Yeah, how scary that is.
I know. Are you terrified?
Well, it to the sense to where I almost feel like I could hurt somebody if I ever did that.
Well, listen, I've had some clients try to strangle me at times thinking I was one of their parents, and those were big men. So I'll tell you something. It's not going to happen. If you do it in a safe environment, you're going to be great.
Yeah.
And trauma becomes integrated as part of your experience, and you're no longer in chronic shock. It's like when you release it, you move through it. But it's not like you can just get it in your head. You need the emotional discharge.
I believe that. I've done an awful lot of work with that, and I've made strides with it, and I know I feel energized after I do it.
Right, and you've been chipping away at it.
Yeah.
You've been chipping away at it.
It's like I want to get it resolved so I can go on to some bigger stuff.
Right, right.
I was talking to Karen. She'll be in the class with us, Karen Owens. And I said, you know how I'm feeling? It's like I'm almost disconnected from my source.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, I can relate.
Okay. Because I've always been kind of a spiritual person. I'm not particularly a religious person, but I have a very strong faith in something spiritual. And I said, I feel like I'm disconnected from that source.
Oh, and that's a real painful place.
Yeah.
That is a real painful place.
It's always what's protected me and guided me and, you know, taken care of me and pushed me in the right direction. And it's like I'm almost feeling like I'm out there on my own right now.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Is that a sick mind?
No. It's somebody who's really coming closer to the source.
Yeah.
A lot of times the feeling is, I'm so disconnected, I have no contact with, you know, what anything is about. And that, when you really acknowledge your confusion, then you can have the room for the answers to come in.
Yeah.
But when you're just, you know, not even in touch with it, then there's not even room for the answers. So everything that's happening for you now is about growth. Everything that's happening for you now is about moving through, not taking so doggone much responsibility for the fact that, you know, you're feeling physically lousy, and, you know, stop worrying about what you've created. All the psychological stuff that happens is we will always draw in what we need to resolve. And it's only when we come to a place where we know that we can't resolve them personally all the time with our parents directly because they're never going to hear it, or, you know, with the people in our life because they're not ready to hear it. Then we have to do it in a role-playing way. We have to do it in a setting that's very supportive. And we have to go all the way through and change the integration in the body. In other words, you can't just expend the energy, do the screaming and yelling, without doing the healing that is required after.
Yeah, you know, I did, well, you know Colleen.
Mm-hmm.
And I did a lot of the seminars that she worked with. And there was a seminar that they did Psi-5, which what was a very valid seminar. I mean, we worked with a lot of that stuff. In fact, I almost got sick a couple of times in it. But I was a fruitcake for 6 weeks afterwards.
Uh-huh.
I was an absolute fruitcake. I couldn't hardly function.
So you didn't get put back together?
Yeah, well, one day I got mad about something.
Mm-hmm.
One day I got mad about something, and something just clicked, and I used my anger to push me forward. But then I think I just kind of shut down with all of it again and just said, okay, I'll go on about my life and do things the way I've always done them.
Right.
But I've learned a lot in the last 5 years, but I remember that real emotional work. And it was great while I was going through it. I felt good afterwards, but boy, I would tell you, when I got out of that class, I was a fruitcake.
Mm-hmm. You're going to need to, and maybe... especially, we'll see what gets triggered and what kind of work that you do in the workshop, but maybe I can take some time with you, like before I come back. I'm coming back on Wednesday, and give you some ways to close up what, in a way where you've released, but you've also closed up enough. And, you know, it wouldn't hurt you to get into some ongoing group where you can process in sort of getting a place of just being able to heal and have some nurturing and support. I don't know what is out there. I've asked Kathy where I'm going to be working to try to find out, and I've put out some the word to some of my colleagues to find out therapeutically what's available. Because just even if you got into like some kind of support group, you know, and I would like for you women to form something together where you have a place of nurturing.
I think we can probably do that because you've got some pretty powerful women in this class and the ones that were in the last, and we're all very much kind of on the same wavelength together. So, you know,
and that's a wonderful experience to have each other.
Yeah.
and, just a place to process. And this keeps the healing going. You don't just do a catharsis and then say, okay, thank you.
Yeah, okay. Well, the seminar company that Colleen used to work for, which I was very much involved with until about the last 6 or 8 months, used to be a very nurturing, safe place to do that. And all of a sudden they've decided that's not what they're going to. They're going to be a big business now. So.
Do you realize that you have not been feeling great for 6 months, and
Right.
6 months ago your support ended?
Yeah. In fact, a lot of my support this year, in the last year and a half, has gone. My one very, very good friend left and went back to Canada, and we talk every 30 days on the phone. We'll call each other. But it's not the same. I mean, this was the one person I had in my life that I could really process. I feel safe processing it.
Yeah. Oh, no wonder you're feeling how you're feeling.
Yeah. So I need that in my life because it was a very valid thing. I mean, I was making major strides. And when my support system fell apart, so did I.
Oh, my goodness, boy. I can really relate. Oh.
So it's time to form new, huh?
Well, I'll tell you, we're going to have to make sure that we form something.
Yeah.
So that, you guys can really stay connected and do your healing. I mean, that's, important.
I'm all for that, Colleen, and I can probably figure something out between us.
So, any questions?
Well, is there any good news in my chart?
Yeah, the good news is that this year you're going to plow right through and come up to an intense amount of self-awareness. And you financially are doing great. Financially, you are actually by August, you're going to feel like a whole new person.
Good.
Right now, it's almost like you really need a break, and you need somebody in the business to really be an assist to you during this time. Do you have that?
I have a good friend who I can work with. Yeah.
Because that's what you need. You need somebody to return all the calls. You need really total assistance. And by August, that's turning around. I mean, you're going to start to feel like a sense of empowerment again, a sense of relief, much more movement towards, a whole new freedom. Financially, things are next year looks like a dynamo year. You really have excellent ability to know what people want.
Good, because my son just got accepted into UCLA, and he's going to law school, so I got to make a lot of money.
Mine too. He's not going to UCLA, but my son just got into law school.
Did he really?
I'm so excited.
I'm so excited for him. He's worked so hard for this.
I know, and it was so hard to get in. I mean, I'm telling you, what a drama waiting for
Yeah. We've got about a year to prepare for it. He applied to UCLA, and they accepted him, but he can't go for another year because he waited too long to put his application in.
Oh.
So he's got a year and a half of undergraduate work there, and then he'll go to law school there.
Well, you know what, tell him to just apply for every kind of aid he can possibly get.
Yeah, we're looking right now.
Because, I don't know about what UCLA is, but the schools I'm looking at are 17,000, 18,000.
We're looking $15,000 a year.
Oh.
I know. It's just... I'm going to try asking his father for some help, but I seriously doubt we'll get any.
So he hasn't been financially helpful to the kids?
No, he's not even been around him for almost 17 years.
Oh,
he goes in and out, but he never, In fact, we figured out how much he contributed to him in the 17 years he paid child support. It was $15,300.
Oh, my God.
$900 a year.
Oh, my God.
And then he cut his child support off in high school when he turned 18.
Oh, yeah, it was really overwhelming him, huh?
Yeah, and the only answer we got when I called him about it was, well, he's got a brain, I guess he'll have to learn how to use it. So I don't hold much hope for him helping us with law school.
Oh, God. Well, it never hurts to ask, but the thing about it is, he doesn't sound like he's got the willingness.
Mm-mm.
And, you've got this your relationship with your son and your relationship with your daughter are so different. How they show up in your chart, I
Totally.
mean, being in relationship with your daughter was a real roller coaster for you.
Oh, God.
It was almost as if you had first of all, you had a hard time knowing how to raise a daughter because you kind of raised yourself anyway.
Uh-huh.
And your son was light and easy.
Oh, he was wonderful.
And your daughter was intense, moody, chaotic, angry. I mean, the difference was amazing.
Uh-huh. That was like my son asked me that about a year ago. He said, I was always your favorite, wasn't I? And I said, no, not really. I mean, I can't say I had a favorite. You're both my children, and I love you in different ways. We just had a different relationship than what I had with your sister.
Yeah, because she was difficult from the get-go.
Oh, from the moment she was born. She was a wonderful baby. She was an angel when she was a baby. But boy,
was she intense, huh?
Oh, God. I'm so happy that she's finally becoming a human being.
Wow. How long she been clean and sober?
She's been clean and sober about 2.5 years.
How long did she use?
From the age of 12.
Yeah.
And she's 26 now. I packed her bag and put her on the street when she was 16.
Wow, that must have been rough,
It was awful. And I had no support. I never have had any support from my family. They've always thought that I was a raving lunatic witch. But, and now she thanks me. But I'll tell you, it was a hard 8 years.
Wow.
Because it's not easy putting your kid on the street, but that's what her counselor said to do, so I...
Right, you did the tough love, huh?
I did what he said to do, and the only thing